Welcome to Intonation for Dummies, which I am, so perfect for me. So today what we're going to be doing is looking at intonation as far as what it is and how to set it on your guitar. So we will get to the setting part, but first I feel it's important to understand basically what it is as well, so that you can understand what you're doing when you intonate your guitar. So first of all, we're going to do two measurements, and then I'm going to fill you in on the big secret, what intonation is. So we're going to measure with this in millimeters the physical length of the guitar string, the low E on this, and they're all going to be different, but on the low E just happens to be 640 millimeters. So, and what we're looking for is the physical center of it, which half of 640 is 320. Now I've marked 320 on the little tape here, and I like using these because they don't have any metal parts that are gonna, well, it does over here, but less likely to damage the guitar. 320 falls about 5 millimeters beyond the 12th fret here. So you would think logically that the center of the string should be right at where the octave is set on the frets there, but that isn't true. So the other measurement, which we can't do with a tape measure, is the tonal or pitch center of the string. That's when it switches over from open to the octave above open. So I know you're probably watching this over here, maybe you've seen it. Looks like it's a little bit sharp, or flat actually, but both are flat. So let me crank that up a little bit. Oops, that looks a little sharp. Okay, so right here, when it touches this fret and vibrates between this fret and the bridge, it is the octave. Oops, I'm pressing down too hard on the guitar. When using a setup like this, you want to put your finger underneath and press down and pinch the guitar, and not push the whole guitar down, because you'll get a false reading. And I'm doing it this way so it can be seen with the camera, and you don't have to look at me. So that's the tonal or pitch center, and what it is this string open is 82, I think. I have a chart that we'll be looking at. 82 vibrations per second, and this is 164 between here and here. So what an octave is it's when it gets up here, because each one obviously vibrates faster and faster. This is where it doubles. First octave is where it doubles. And so we'll go over that in the chart too. But one interesting thing that some people may have realized when they're playing with their guitar, playing around with it, is if you go here and you get an E, this isn't going to register on here, I don't think. You get a nice solid E there. You go up here to this fret above the 12th, so you're actually in the 13th fret. Oh, you do get a little measurement there. Okay, so you can see, or at least hear, they're essentially same notes. So this side, when you're on the 13th, E. This side when you're on the 12th, E. So what intonation is the tonal / pitch center of the string, which doesn't always match up with the physical center of the string. To further explain what intonation is and why it's important on guitars such as these, you have to remember that that the fret bars are put into place where this is going to be your octave, whether you like it or not. You cannot move it up a little bit to find the octave or down a little bit to find the octave. When you move up a half step. When you move it down a half step. So the octave is preset on a guitar. Now when you're playing violin or any other fretless stringed instrument, the intonation is set by the player's ear and their finger. That's why violin can be a tough one to learn, because it takes a lot of ear training to learn how to play the violin accurately, anyway. And so if you take all the frets off this, I could find the tonal or pitch center of the string by sliding my finger slightly up or down on the fretboard, or on the fingerboard, if you will. We'll not call it a fretboard in this case. So essentially what you're doing, guitars are set up with their length of scale to help get it in the ballpark. When you tune it at the headstock, you get it closer in the ballpark, and then you fine tune the tuning. Like if you turn the guitar upside down, you're tuning it from here to here, between the 12th fret and the bridge. So that's what intonation is tuning from the 12th fret to the bridge. So I hope that clears a few things up. If there's any questions, leave them in the comments. We will get on with the chart that I'm going to show you, and we'll talk about hertz, not owies, but HZs. And then we'll get on to actually setting the intonation on the guitar. Here we are with a chart that displays the full 88 key range of the piano. Along the side here are various different instruments, and underneath are bars that display their range in relation to the piano. Way down here at the very bottom we have guitar, which this is the range of the guitar. And so I've taken the liberty of marking the various strings as they relate to the piano as far as hertz goes. This is the low E, high E, so this is the first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, and sixth string. Remember, this is the low side, this is the high side, obviously. Everything goes from left to right, higher. And as you'll notice here, there is an A here, and when you tune something to A440 on the guitar, you're not actually tuning it to 440, you're tuning it to 110. 440 is actually way over here, and so it is, when you look at this chart, you have A open string on the guitar at 110. The octave is at 220. By the way, the green marks are the octave for each string. Is at 220. So 110 times 2 is 220. But then you take and you multiply this hertz by 2 and you get 440. So every time you go from one octave to the next, you multiply the hertz by 2. So although this, if you took this 110 and multiplied it by 4, it would be 440, but it's not actually 4 octaves in that deal there. For those of us that don't know what hertz means, hertz is one hertz is one cycle or vibration per second. So 110 is 110 vibrations per second on the open A. So now, are there any 440s on the guitar at all? There actually is. On the 5th fret of the first string is A 440. On the 10th fret of the B string is 440. And on the 14th fret of the G is 440. So those are your 440s without doing a wicked bend on the D or the A way up high in the upper register. Those are the only natural 440s without bending that you can, bending off the chart actually, on the guitar. Okay, here's the guitar. I'll be demonstrating the intonation setting process that I use in this video. Of course, there's some prerequisites that need to be handled before you set the intonation. One of them is that make sure your action's nice and where you want it, nice and low if you want it there, and of course not too high because that's not going to help anything. But you want your action where you want it first, but especially action at the nut. And in the description I have a link to a video where I set the action at the nut on this particular guitar. So if you haven't done that, if you think that you might need to do that, then there's a video to do that. The other important thing is to make sure that your pickups are set properly. If they're too high, remembering that these are magnets here, they can affect how the string rings out. They can actually cause a disturbance in the string if they are too close to the string. So you want to make sure that that's correct as well. So with that, we will get on with the show. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll with a couple of notes here. One of them is I like to do my intonation using the bridge pickup. It just seems to ring better at this area here than it does up here. This seems to be real overtony. This is more solid of a tone, and so I've taken liberty of whacking out my A string. Let's make sure it's in tune. Looks like we're solid there. Whacking out my A string, intonation wise, in order to demonstrate, because I've already set the intonation on this guitar prior, weeks ago, a month ago, a long time ago. So what we're going to do is, if you can see this hand over here, probably barely, to set the intonation, you depress, and I'm depressing the 12th fret on the 5th string, which is my A. So, and that gives you your tuning between here and here by doing that. And this is essentially, your saddle is your tuner. So what I'm going to do here is pluck it open again. We're solid there, and then you can see that it's flat. So to sharpen that up, to bring it up to where it belongs, I need to move the saddle this way. So sharpening a string, for intonation, you move it towards the headstock. To flatten it, you move it back towards opposite of the headstock. So, and very important, one thing that I've always said when I've demonstrated this is that you detune the string, very important, and take it off of there. Could probably use a little bit more. Oops. Take it off the saddle, move it off to the side so there's no pressure on it, and adjust it. Probably, it really actually takes quite a bit to adjust. Whoa. Where am I at here? Oh, we're there. Stay out of the way. Okay, to change the intonation on it. So the reason you loosen up the string is so that you're not putting a bunch of pressure down, because you can actually screw up the threads on the screw inside there, and then some of them have keepers in it that you can bend, and then you'll have a loose rattly screw. So in order to not damage the bridge or the saddle, you want to loosen it up and take the string off every time you adjust, make an adjustment. So then you tune it back up. Oops, too far. Screwdriver wants to take a hike. Okay, stay still. We're a mess here. I know. Okay. Taking a second. Okay. Oops. With this tuner, I have a tendency to need to mute the strings until the needle drops, and then hit it again. Adjust. Okay, we're good there. So, got a good open, 12th fret, still a little flat. So then you repeat that process again. Over to this side this time. Go hang out with the E string for a minute. Okay. And I do about 4 to 5 turns each time, because it does take quite a lot of movement to change. In most cases, the intonation. Check that real quick. Yeah, went right to it that time. 12th fret. We're still a little bit flat. So. Go hang out with the E string again. Move it a little further. So you notice I did about 5 turns on it. Not full turns, but I moved it quite a bit. And I actually don't remember where this saddle was, but I know it was misaligned with the rest of them before I messed it up. there. This isn't the best tuner to use. I'd rather have a really nice one. But you can do it with these tuners. Even if I had a nice one, I'd demonstrate it on this one because I know not everybody can afford a $800 tuner. Okay, we're there. So that's how you do it. Any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, just remember, always loosen the string no matter which one it is, because you don't want to damage your bridge in the process of trying to improve your guitar. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the flip side.